So Europe is now a continent with a high level of unemployment, with lots of financial abilities shifting and going to the southeast of Asia. It's in Asia and in the emerging countries. Some countries going really up, like Brazil, like Russia, like India, like China. How do you see the future of Europe regarding to these new players on world level?
We try to open trade with those countries and sometimes continent. If you look to China or India, it's a very huge population, it's a huge economical evolution in the last years. So we need to open the trade, but with reciprocity. Of course, it's quite important for European companies to have access to the public procurement in China or in India, but if it's not possible, it's quite also impossible to give the same access to the European Union. So we are working on the reciprocity on that, but one of the solutions to the crisis in Europe is to open the trade everywhere in the world. It's impossible for the moment to reach such a situation with the Doha round, the so-called Doha round, I mean the international, the multilateral discussions, so we need to have bilateral discussions. And so in the near future we will have many discussions with China, with India, with Brazil, to give some examples, but also with Japan, with the US also, to open the floor for new trade among the different partners. And it's a chance for Belgium to start that now, because it's possible to do that with a Belgian commissioner at the level of the European Commission, Karel de Gucht, in charge for trade. So I'm very confident that it will be possible to have a part of the solution due to that in Europe. Of course, we need to organize structural reforms, we need to organize a better functioning of the Eurozone and the European Union, but we need also to make more progress in the line with the US and with the emerging countries about trade, and that is maybe a part of the solution for the European Union.
Okay. We are, Belgium is a little country, 11 million inhabitants. You are Minister of Foreign Affairs of a little countries, you travel all over the world. Are the other countries interested by Belgium? How is the voice of Belgium heard in the other countries and in the big countries of the world?
There are different elements to have an influence in the world. First, we are one of the 6 funders of the European Union, and we have the capital, the political capital of the Union in Brussels, with the Commission, with the Council, and a very large part of the Parliament, the European Parliament. So there's an interest to discuss with Belgium about the evolution in the European Union. The second reason to be present at different tables is the North Atlantic Alliance, because if you look to the situation, we have taken part in different operations, like in Libya, we are in Mali, we are in Lebanon, we are in different places, and it's important to do that, to be present around the table. And the third element is our capacity to analyze and maybe to propose some solutions in Central Africa. We have an experience, of course, in Congo, in Burundi, in Rwanda, and we receive a lot of demands from the US, from the United Nations, from many other partners about Central Africa. And so there is no change, in fact, in the foreign affairs policy in Belgium. Since many decades, the 3 major elements are the European Union, the North Atlantic Alliance, and the capacity to take the floor, to discuss and to try to solve the situation in Central Africa. And with those 3 elements, it's possible for the Belgian people in the world to be very active in many discussions. Of course, we are a so-called little country if you look at the figures in line with inhabitants, but if you look to the GDP, we are, for the moment, one of the 12 more important GDP in the world. So it's quite important if you look to many meetings in the world. It's also a reason to be present.
And what about the image of Belgium? You know, it has been a bit difficult to form a government in 2010, 2011, and now we have a very stable government. Does it have an influence on European and world level when you speak with your partners?
There's an influence, first of all, on the market, the financial market. We are paying a lower level of interest rates due to the stability of the government. And the second element is, of course, that it's possible to discuss with the partners about the evolution of the Eurozone and the European Union due to that. If you are in a better situation, it's easier to take the floor and to discuss and to make some proposals. It was more difficult during such a period without a real government in function. But now it's solved, and so we have a very good situation in all those discussions inside the European Union or inside the Eurozone.
Maybe to conclude the interview, let's have some words about Brussels. Brussels, capitals of Europe, 1.1 million inhabitants. You also do live in Brussels. How do you see the future of the capital?
But we need to solve some local issues, like everywhere in Belgium, like everywhere in Europe or in the world, because it's a city. If you look to the figure, you have said that, and it's a city with the same problems of mobility, the same problem of security, integration of new populations, and so on and so forth. And also we have a very high level of unemployment with the young people, so we need to find a way, with maybe the help of the European Union, to solve such an issue. But the second element is maybe to be a link between the different parts of the country, because Brussels is just in the middle, and we need to be in touch with two other regions in the south and northern part of Belgium. And third, we have discussed on that, of course, Brussels has an important role at the international level, and it's where we know, due to the European Union, due to the NATO, to other activities. And so I'm sure that there are three elements to explain the future of Brussels. The local situation, with the same kind of issues on the table than in many other cities in Europe, the specific situation of Brussels in Belgium, to be a go-between between the two other regions, and then, if it's possible, to enhance the capacity to play a role at the international level. And it's a pleasure to discuss that with you, because maybe due to such an interview it will be possible to send a message to a lot of those actors at the international level.